Welcome to the Broken Plane Podcast with your host, JB, and...
TK. What's up, everybody?
How you doing?
Oh, I'm great. We are in the pod shed.
We are in the pod shed.
It's amazing.
It's like a murder room.
Super comfortable.
This is fantastic.
I'm comfortable in murder rooms.
What I like most about this is the way nothing's finished, and it looks like there's nails that are exposed overhead that I could hang myself off of later.
Oh, it doesn't look like it. There actually are nails.
This is groovy space, man. This is really cool.
It works.
We got a couch in here. We got a Shea lounge. Is that what that is?
Yeah.
A hide-a-bed. Yeah. Got some power. Got some outlets.
I'll be out here when I make my wife mad.
Well, I'm sure that won't be often.
No.
It'll be, once a month.
She's a friend of the podcast. So
friend of the podcast.
As long as we keep doing this, we'll be okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So, week 3 of the preseason.
Ooh, in the books.
Yeah.
Coming up on week 4, the final week of the preseason.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Thank goodness it's almost done.
It's been rough.
So, let's start off with how you can get a hold of us.
Yeah. Well, we're on Twitter, at The Broken Plane. It's the best Twitter account you could ever follow.
I think that's right.
I manage it. Jay pops in every once in a while, and we just are constant hilarity.
Really, I haven't seen a funnier account.
Yeah.
From all of the accounts that I've seen, ours is pretty awesome.
And we follow some funny people too.
That part's true.
Yeah.
We're not joking about that part. The part where we're funny is maybe not as accurate, although you do a good job with it.
I try.
Yeah.
And we're on Instagram, The Broken Plane. Don't bother. We have a Facebook page that we're looking for friends. We're looking for likes.
Oh, man. That is so hard. I had no idea it was that hard. That's a helicopter.
Maybe you'll hear it. Maybe you won't.
Sweet. We've got 2 likes on the Facebook page. I've gone in. I'm starting to comment on other people's posts now, so I'm hoping that we'll get noticed a little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Hopefully. And, of course, we have our email address, thebrokenplanepod@gmail.com, so you can contact us if you have a suggestion or want to say anything to us that you can't reach us on Twitter or something like that.
Yeah.
There we go. And, of course, as becoming the tradition, we have our new Twitter fan of the week. Twitter fan of the week, PerkDog at PerkDog229.
Hey! Congratulations, PerkDog.
Now, this guy, he's been with us early on. He was one of our first followers.
Nice.
He's a diehard 49ers fan, and one thing I really like about him, he's a Bone Thugs and Harmony fan.
And what's not to love about that?
I love that song.
That's fantastic.
And we love PerkDog, too.
We do.
So go ahead and give him a follow on Twitter. He's at PerkDog229, and congratulations, you are our fan of the week.
At PerkDog229.
Yes.
You know what, just a little shout out for PerkDog. If he is a podcast listener, the Better Rivals podcast is a 49ers podcast that is solid gold.
Oh, there you
It's
go.
really good. If you are a fan of the game, if you want to be a student of the game, you want to learn a little something about football, and more specifically the 49ers, the Better Rivals podcast is fantastic.
Great. Good tip.
Yeah.
All right. Well, should we jump into things?
We should jump in. We should get started.
All
First, we're going to talk about some quarterback battles. Things are starting to shake out now. We're in week 3. People are starting to figure out who they want. No, the coaches are being less coy now. For instance, Doug Marone.
Doug Moron.
He finally stopped saying, "I'm going to play Chad Henne."
Nobody
he said,
believed
"I'm
him.
going to start Blake Bortles."
Yeah.
Just kidding, guys. We're really not going to do that horrible thing that I was kind of playing with.
I think he was just trying to motivate Bortles.
It's good. I mean, that's good. I like it. I was a little concerned, but you got some guys here. Why don't we run down the list and talk about the quarterback battles going on around the league?
Well, let's start with Patrick Mahomes, because I hate who he's up against.
Good.
And obviously Mahomes is not starting because you have Alex Smith, the league's most boring quarterback, sitting there. I mean, he's been in the league for a while, and he's been successful.
Okay, just because you put bunny rabbit ears around it doesn't mean he hasn't actually been successful.
Come on.
He's actually been a pretty good quarterback in the league. for a while. You know, he came in the same year Aaron Rodgers came in. Remember that? He was the first pick in the draft. Aaron Rodgers plummeted to like 20-something before he finally got, mercy killed by the Packers. And now he's in Green Bay and Smith is in Kansas City. And I assume their career paths are similar now. The trajectories are the same.
Well, look, Alex Smith is terrible. He's never had more than 23 touchdowns in a season. That's not a lot, and he's been a Pro Bowler twice. What is going on?
He had that mercy Pro Bowl thing when he was in San Francisco. The one good year he had there, and I think last year wasn't he tapped for the Pro Bowl last year?
I think so too.
Yeah,
when he threw for over 3,500 yards.
The Chiefs were 12-4.
He had 3,502 yards.
That seems like
That's
a lot.
His highest yardage total in his 9-year career. Get out of here.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's not high.
He doesn't throw interceptions. That's his thing, which makes for boring football, which just further justifies my point that he's a boring football player.
Okay.
He's just safe. I'm looking for his contract. I think is not up, but they can cut him and be free of him after this year. And now they've got Patty Mahomes, my homie.
Yeah,
he's looked pretty good in the preseason, so I think they're going to work him in if Alex Smith continues to be a snooze fest.
You know what? I didn't get a chance to watch him much when he was at Texas Tech, but I've watched a couple of games where he's played, a few of his series this year in the preseason, and it's hard to judge because I know it's the preseason, but he's looked pretty good. Mahomes has looked pretty good. I mean, there's been flashes there of, you understand why the Chiefs traded up to get him. It makes sense.
He did good. 65% completion in the 3 preseason games so far. He might play this week. I'm not really sure what they're planning on doing. Threw 3 touchdowns and a 105.9 QB rating.
He probably should play most of the game. I mean, this is the 4th preseason game. None of the starters play, right? That's how it's supposed to work.
I'm not sure if they have another quarterback there that they're going to throw in and just, let him run things for a meaningless game.
Okay. It would make sense.
Yeah.
All right. Who's next up?
DeShone Kizer, my favorite. I don't know why he's my favorite because he's on a rival team, but I've taken to him.
Okay.
He's won the starting job in Cleveland.
And no surprise.
No.
Considering who he's up against.
My other least favorite. I think I actually like Brock Osweiler less than Alex Smith.
Brock Osweiler is interesting because Brock Osweiler, when he came into the league, he was like a 3rd-round pick. Mm-hmm. And then he played a handful of games, and he couldn't even keep a hurt Peyton Manning from the field. He got beat out by a Peyton Manning who couldn't throw the ball more than 20 yards.
Peyton Manning's still amazing.
He is. But then he gets that huge contract from Houston, just a monster contract. Why? Why would you do that?
He proved himself.
He did not prove anything. The Broncos, the Donkeys were forced to put him in, and they did, and he did fine. He was a 500
he was
guy.
Passable.
Oh man.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad he's gone, and he's hopefully almost out of the league. The Browns are looking to trade him now. I think he's about to go back to where he deserves, which is like, I don't know, a convenience store or something.
Well, I tell you what, if the Browns are going to get out from under him, they're going to have to eat that contract.
Yeah.
There's no way anybody else is going to pay that kind of money for a guy that isn't a starting quarterback.
That's true. But at least, I mean, they picked up a lot. They've got a lot of draft picks. I think they added a draft pick in addition to getting him or something like that. That was part of the deal. So it was probably worth it.
I mean, for what they want to do, I think it was worth it for them. But from a dollar and cent standpoint, it's absolutely the right time to try to get out from under him.
Yeah.
So I get it. The thing about DeShone Kizer that worries me a little bit, 51% completion rate?
Yeah, it wasn't a great showing.
Not really, no. Also sacked 5 times.
Yeah.
That's sacked 5 times in 3 games, and that's 3 games where he didn't play the whole game.
Yeah. The only thing is he did outplay both Osweiler and Cody Kessler.
So out of the entire pool of crap, he is the least stinky.
He is the shiniest turd.
Okay.
Well,
congratulations to DeShone Kizer. Well done.
I called it, I think.
You did. I think you did. You were banging on the Browns to start him in the... Well, not the first episode, but the first episode. We talked about the AFC.
Episode 3, I believe.
North, yeah.
Next up, we kind of covered the Jaguars. Blake Bortles.
Yes, Blake Bortles.
He did terrible Chad Henne did the same. Bortles came in the third preseason game in the third quarter, played against some serious backups.
Yes.
Managed 125 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception.
Lit it up.
And Doug Marrone praised the crud out of him.
As you would if you're trying to build somebody up.
So,
okay.
They're hoping that he might go back to that 4,030 touchdown year that he had 2 years ago, but...
Didn't he have Jimmy Smits and... Didn't he have receivers then? I
think it was still like Alan Hearns and...
Oh, wow.
Same guys, pretty much. Who was that guy? Blackman? Justin Blackman?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I think he's out of the game now.
Jimmy Smits has been out of the game since like 2008, hasn't he? Okay, yeah.
Deep cut.
Oh, sorry, guys. All right, so Blake Bortles is starting.
Yeah.
He's getting the nod.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what you want if you're a Jacksonville fan, based on what you've got.
I suppose, yeah. Best of a bad lot. You got to put somebody in.
Yeah.
They're not going to ask me to do it. So, I guess if it's a choice between me and Blake Bortles, probably the guy who's done it a little bit is better. Also, I can't really throw overhand with my right arm. It hurts.
You might have a quicker release than him, though.
It could be. He's not the quickest guy to get the ball out of his hands, is he?
It looks like slow-mo. Enough about the Jaguars.
Houston. Tom Savage.
He kept it. Defied all the odds.
Well done, Tom Savage. I think that's fantastic. Yes.
Bravo. Well deserved.
Are you surprised? I'm a little surprised.
I am, but I'm also not. I mean, people were saying that Watson might have a little bit of a break-in period. It seems like that's the case right now. He's done well. He rushed the 2 touchdowns, but he didn't throw any touchdowns, and his passing was 50% on quite a few, 56 attempts, threw an interception. So it wasn't quite there yet. He showed some flashes, but I think Savage probably is the safer play right now, and just kind of let Watson get a little seasoning in practice and stuff like that. Maybe throw him in some late games if they're losing or something like that. Get a little real experience.
All right.
Great call. All right, this isn't much of a competition so much as terrible circumstances.
Yeah.
The Indy Colts.
Yeah.
We don't know where Andrew Luck is. Nobody's seen him in 6 months.
That part might not be entirely accurate. Yeah. I think they have a physical location.
Okay.
Yeah. But it hasn't been on the football field. No.
So Tolzien is in line, most likely to play. They've also got Stephen Morris. He's only played preseason games. He's been with Jacksonville, and then he's been with Indy. They released Morris earlier this year, I think, in like January, and I think they picked him up again once they realized that Andrew Luck is almost dead.
I feel bad for Andrew Luck. Here's a guy, he's been battling a shoulder injury now for a couple of years. And he finally had surgery on it this last offseason. I think it's not his first surgery, I don't think. But he's not back. He's not ready to go yet. He turns 28 years old next month.
So we've still got 12 years left.
I mean, anymore. Seriously, anymore. You got to figure 10 years.
If his shoulder heals up. So you can't, if you push him back now, let's say he's at 100%. He's going to get killed in Indianapolis. Yeah. It doesn't matter who that quarterback is. They're going to get slaughtered. Tom Brady could come in, and he would be a wreck with this team. Well, here's what I am kind of thinking is not what they would do, but what they should do. They should do the same thing they did the year Peyton Manning got hurt. They should just keep Luck out, let him get healthy. He's going to get hurt because their offensive line is trash. Let him sit out, work on developing some offensive linemen, or aim to pick up some offensive linemen this year off next offseason, and then throw them in. They'll get a great draft pick this year. Pick somebody, pick a nice lineman.
Yeah, I mean you could do that.
They're not going to win anything this year, even if he does play.
Yeah, the couple things here that the story, the media narrative, if you will, seems to be that the Colts are wasting Andrew Luck during his prime years. And I can kind of see that, and that makes sense to me. The other side of that, to me, is you know what? Your stars need a chance to heal. If they're hurt, you need a chance for them not to be hurt anymore before you throw them back into the mix. I think a great example of this was Sidney Crosby.
Yeah.
In hockey, he was diagnosed with a concussion, and he basically sat out for a year, almost a year and a half, before they finally There were some issues with his diagnosis, but they finally got him sorted out to a place where he was feeling good again.
They had some of those Saints doctors, huh?
They did.
Yeah.
That's a whole other story and a whole other podcast. We won't get into it here. But the point is, he came out of it.
Yeah.
And, he's just finished up winning his second of 2 back-to-back Stanley Cups. He's got 3 now. Seems like he did okay. The right choice for the Penguins to make then was to sit him and get him healthy.
That was a good move.
I'm not saying that Andrew Luck is the best quarterback in the game, but I think if you put together a list, he's probably top 10.
Yeah.
So, and if he's healthy, I think probably top 5.
And if he wasn't remotely protected.
Yeah. And if you had him behind other football players who did football things well, Yeah. So, good luck, Colts fan. Scott Tolzien is fantastic choice. Also, good news, you won't feel bad when he gets killed.
No.
Because he's going to get thumped. He's going to get thumped a lot this year. I love Frank Gore. You hear Frank Gore?
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to be fine. Going to be fine.
I wonder if he's going to do well.
Oh, man.
He's been flashing in preseason for being an old man. He's almost my age.
He's hit 30 then. That's good. Yeah. Getting older. I feel bad. I feel most bad. That's terrible.
The baddest.
I feel the baddest for the Colts receivers because they're going to be put in a spot where there's not a lot that's going to happen that's good for them this year.
Don't draft T.Y. Hilton, everybody.
Yeah, no, that's not a good choice this year.
Let somebody else deal with that.
Yeah.
Maybe they get lucky and Andrew Luck is fine.
Who knows? Maybe by the first week in October, everything's healed.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Moving on. The last that I could think of.
The last of our quarterbacks.
The Tampa Bay. No. Sorry.
I think the Tampa Bay quarterback situation is settled.
I saw the name and I'm like, this is Tampa Bay, but no.
I think they got a guy. They got a guy. He's doing okay.
The Chicago situation.
That is an unsettled situation.
Ooh.
Yeah. Who are they going with?
Mike Glennon.
Really? After they trade up to grab Trubisky?
Yeah, they gave everything away for Trubisky.
And then he's not going to play this year.
Yeah. Well, I think he's going to play.
Eventually.
But Mitch had a great preseason. 354 yards, 3 touchdowns, 112 passer rating. That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Sanchez is also there. Mark Sanchez. I don't know what's going on with him. I didn't look into it, but he threw 6 passes. So he didn't play very much. But he apparently is, from what I saw, the backup QB.
Okay.
Troops is down at the bottom.
Well, I guess, you know what? That kind of makes sense to me because you want to get your starter reps, and I understand that. Yeah. If your backup is Mark Sanchez, why do you need to see him play? You know what he can do.
He's bad, yeah.
I wasn't going to put it like that.
Oh, okay.
But Trubisky needs reps.
Yeah.
He's got to have them. So it makes complete sense to me. If I was John Fox, I wouldn't want to see Sanchez under center at all.
I just don't understand why Glennon is starting. I mean, he must be showing stuff in training camp and practice that I'm not seeing on the games.
It's been interesting because Mike Glennon, before camp, actually went on record saying this was, or I'm sorry, not Mike Glennon, Trubisky went on record saying this was Glennon's team, and he was there to learn and do the best he could in camp and compete.
Well, that's
but at the end of the day, this was Mike Glennon's team, and it was going to be a coach's decision, obviously, who was going to play, which I thought was interesting because a lot of times, the party line is supposed to be, I should start, right? Who's going to start? Well, of course, I'm going to start because I am the best quarterback or the best running back or the best whatever. I should start.
He's playing the humble angle.
He is.
It's not the worst angle.
Is that what you want from your first round draft pick that you just drafted up or you traded up to get?
I don't know.
You want, I'm going to be content to let Mike Glennon take snaps.
I guess it is kind of funny. I don't have a problem with it, but I think whatever, the Bears are stupid. Shut up, John Fox.
Oh, John Fox. Okay. All right. So that's the quarterback situation.
That's all of them.
Around the league.
You know all the other ones. They're set in stone.
Yeah, don't even bother.
Yeah.
It's all over.
So moving on. You know them knee injuries. They're everywhere.
There's been a lot this year.
There's some new ones since we last spoke to you.
Oh, man.
Kansas City Chiefs.
Sorry, Chiefs.
Yeah. Spencer Ware, lead running back, down, torn PCL and an LCL.
Where are those exactly in the knee? The PCL is the posterior.
So that's on the outside.
I think that's
L
right.
Lateral, collateral?
There's a lateral. There's ACL is anterior
cruciate, yeah.
And then MCL is median.
Medial, I think.
This is why I failed biology. I failed anatomy. I never took anatomy, so it's okay. PCL, LCL, he's out for the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The good thing is they've got Kareem Hunt.
Who?
Kareem Hunt.
I've not heard of him before.
What?
Did he play in the NFL last year?
No, he's a rookie.
Oh, he's a rookie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Out of Toledo, it looks like.
Out of Toledo.
Yeah.
Okay,
he's nearby.
He's a rookie. They drafted him.
He's used to playing in this climb.
Of Missouri.
Yeah.
Okay.
You never know what can happen.
So I guess if there are freak tornadoes, he'll be fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
He won't get swept up.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's great.
What?
So, no Spencer Ware, Kareem Hunt comes in, and he's being ably backed up by C.J. Spiller.
Yeah, C.J. Spiller's there too. And I mean, he seemed good that one time in Buffalo.
That one day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I fooled everybody into drafting him in the second round.
Me.
Me.
Oh.
So,
C.J. Spiller.
He might be perfectly suited for this situation because Andy Reid seems to put together some good running games, especially when you've got Snooze Fest Alex Smith not throwing the ball anywhere. So this might be a good situation for CJ, not necessarily a fantasy situation, but
yeah,
he might do some things for them.
Yeah, Reid again, my favorite fat man coach. He's great. He can scheme his way out of a lot of things. So if there is a team that could make its way out of this, he might be the one leading them.
Next up, another knee injury, a torn ACL this time. Cameron Meredith. You know this guy?
I don't.
Well, he was the Bears' #1 wide receiver.
That's probably why I didn't know him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he showed a little skill last year. He
Okay.
had like 880 yards or something like that. So
that's a lot.
He came on strong.
Yeah.
It's not bad for whoever was throwing passes last year after Jay Cutler left.
That sounds like a guy that Mike Glennon would like to have to throw the ball to.
Yeah. So he's gone.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just what they needed. Now Kevin White, the unproven sophomore, is stepping in. And Kendall Wright, who played with the Titans and done virtually nothing for like 5 years, is the #2.
Okay.
So it's still looking dire in Chicago.
That's an MCL. Is he out for the year as well?
ACL, yeah.
ACL, sorry. ACL, okay.
Yeah, these are all career-ending. No.
Year-ending.
Year-ending injuries. And then,
man.
Finally, the big one, but I think this is the least. I think this team can recover the most.
Mm-hmm.
The Patriots.
Yeah.
Julian Edelman.
Yeah.
The big, sexy hunk of meat that my wife loves.
You know what? I saw this injury. I was watching that game today on NFL Game Pass. Little plug.
Go get it.
For NFL Game Pass. Go get it.
Us.
They're not sponsoring us at all, and they lie about what they show on the air or on their feed.
Yeah.
We'll get into that later if you want to talk about it. If you want to talk about it, hit me up on Twitter. I'll go into detail. But I was watching the game that they played against Detroit. The Patriots played against Detroit, and I saw the injury, and I'll be honest with you, it didn't look like much. And then suddenly his knee's blown out. You could tell right away. I mean, he went down, but it wasn't like a weird twist.
Yeah.
He got hit a little bit, and then he was just down.
That's too bad.
And what's also surprising to me about these kinds of injuries is how often you'll see guys get hit, grab a knee, and then get up, and they can kind of walk.
Yeah.
Not well, but, they're hobbling a little bit. And you think to yourself, maybe he'll be fine.
Yeah.
And then you find out later, well, that's a year.
Well, they've got all those other CLs in there holding things together.
That's what it is?
So I suppose unless it's like a real bad tear, full tear. I mean, some of these guys, like we talked about, I think Nico Saragusa tore like all 3 of his ligaments in his knee.
Yeah.
So that's probably...
So his knee was just, his lower leg wobbling back and forth.
Clock pendulum.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That's sickening.
But I think the Patriots are going to be fine, because the Patriots are always fine, first of all.
Yeah.
And they still have Rob Gronkowski,
Yeah.
They picked up Brandon Cooks. Go Beavs.
Go Beefs. They've got Amendola.
Yeah.
And they got Chris Hogan. And let's be honest now, those two guys are Julian Edelman, just like Julian Edelman was Wes Welker.
Exactly. So,
yeah, they do have some continuity there. I want Edelman to come back. He is a great receiver. He was a lot of fun to watch in the slot.
Hopefully he does. I mean, they're still employing Danny Amendola, so I don't see why they wouldn't employ Edelman when he comes back.
And I'm sure they will. Yeah. I mean, it seems like a silly time to cut him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to get any value for him.
Why
would Belichick let him go when you're not going to get anything for him? It makes no sense. That's not a Bill thing to do.
He'll probably manage to trade him for a third-round pick or something.
All right.
Yeah. So the Pats are fine. They lose a 1,000-yard receiver, and they're fine.
Patriots.
Damn. So, knee injuries. What we've got here, what I counted, I may be wrong a little bit, but I think I got this right. We have, so far, since like June, maybe a little bit earlier, 21 torn ACLs out for the season.
Oh my God, 21.
And then we have another 7, just other knee injuries, patellas. You got that there, patellar. The other CLs.
Yeah.
That's another 7. So 28 people.
Just with knees.
In preseason. Get rid of the preseason.
It's insane.
I mean, most of it's still happening in practice, too. So
yeah.
Crazy. Knee braces are all around.
They should, especially, yeah.
That's scary.
That's a lot. You know, the thing, too, they have cut back on what they can do in camp.
Yeah.
So they don't do 2-a-days anymore. They've reduced contact in camp. But you're still seeing, it's just a crazy amount of injuries.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I was scared.
Okay. That's a lot.
What's up next? What do we got?
Okay. Well, next I wanted to talk about a little background here. There's a Twitter account called Awful Announcing.
Ooh.
At Awful Announcing, it's just fantastic. They kind of do sports commentary on the people doing the sports commentary, which is fun. It's fun for me.
I like that.
But what they got me thinking, who are my favorite broadcast teams? Who are the guys I look at and look for, and I will say, I want to watch that game because those guys are fun.
Who cares if it's the Jets and the Browns?
Yeah, I'll watch them. I'll give you an example. Many, many, many hundreds of years ago, I was watching a game. I think it was the mid-'80s. It was the Red and the Eagles. Sorry, the Washington football team and the Eagles. And this was back when those two teams were terrible. So bad. The game ended up being 6-3. And it was bad on both sides. It was just a miserable, miserable football game. But Bob Costas was doing play-by-play with Mike Ditka.
Ooh.
For some reason, they had them both. And at the time, Costas was doing the studio show, and Ditka was doing this. I think Ditka was doing the studio show for NBC as well.
Wow.
But those two guys together, they came in and they made that game. It was like a roast. It was like a roast of the Eagles and the Redskins. And Costas was just setting Ditka up, and Ditka was knocking him down. It was the best thing ever.
That sounds glorious.
It was so much fun. And I've gone back and tried to find that game on YouTube or whatever. I can't find it anywhere, of course.
Oh, that's too bad. Maybe you have to contact NBC.
Or maybe NFL Game Pass will have...
The vault.
Does it go back that? Maybe it should. I'll look. But today's announcers.
Yeah.
Today's announcer, I thought we might go through and have a little bit of fun at their expense. And just decide who we like and who we don't like.
Oh, well, I have some thoughts.
You've got some thoughts? Okay. How do you want to do this? Do you want to talk about who we like, or do you want to run down a list? Because a lot of these guys you don't know.
Well, I've heard of them.
I haven't even heard of all of them. I mean, there's a lot of guys here that I'd be like, who? Who is that?
Okay.
We'll run through the top ones real quick. Fox's top team is Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, and Aaron Andrews.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty solid group.
Solid. I see a lot of people that talk trash about Joe Buck, but I love Joe Buck.
I love Joe Buck, too.
Maybe they don't like him because of his baseball announcing, because he does a lot of different sports, but I've always thought he's great.
And Troy Aikman, I think he's getting a little doty maybe in his older age. I think the concussions might be sneaking up on him. But he's pretty insightful. For what he does, he's pretty insightful. And Aaron Andrews on the sidelines is doing great. She does great work down there. I like that group a lot.
I have nothing bad to say about any of them.
Okay. There's Fox's second group, Kevin Burkhardt, Charles Davis, Pam Oliver.
I've heard of Pam Oliver.
Pam Oliver is fantastic.
Yeah.
On the sidelines. I would watch a broadcast that had her in it. The other two are largely forgettable. You would know Charles Davis if you heard his voice.
Okay.
But it's not like I wouldn't tune into that game just to, Charles Davis and Kevin Burkhardt. Attention. Third group.
Yeah.
Kenny Albert.
Heard of him.
Rondé Barber.
Heard of
and
him.
Christina Pink.
Never heard of her.
I've never heard of her either. Rondé Barber rubs me the wrong way sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
But I will watch any sporting event with an Albert doing the announcing.
Okay.
I'll just say that, a blanket statement. Kenny Albert also does hockey. I'll watch hockey with Kenny Albert.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Marv Albert on TNT. He's still doing the TNT broadcast, right?
Oh, okay. I didn't know that they were related.
They even look alike.
I've never seen.
Yes.
I'm blanking on who Kenny Albert is. I don't pay that much attention to the announcing teams.
Well, they don't show him on TV. You just hear the voice.
Yeah.
So if you heard the voice, you'd probably...
They show him when you tune in at the very beginning of the broadcast. So I'm going to have to pay attention.
Next group would be Chris Myers, play-by-play.
Yeah.
Daryl Johnston.
The Moose, right?
The Moose, yep. Yeah. And Laura Ockman. And this group, to me, Daryl Johnston carries it. Because watching him is fantastic. He's another really insightful guy. Mm-hmm. Reminds me a lot of John Lynch.
Okay.
When John Lynch was doing broadcasts, it was sort of a similar kind of tone. Really insightful, straightforward. I enjoy him. Dick Stockton is going to be working with Mark Schlereth this year.
Is Mark Schlereth new to the play-by-play?
Yeah, he's new to Fox, and he's new to doing color commentary.
Okay, yeah.
He spent some time at ESPN in their studio show.
Their big mass exodus type of thing that they did recently.
Yeah, I think he probably was.
Yeah.
I hadn't put those two things together, but I imagine he probably was. Yeah. He in the studio show. Oh, Mark Schlereth. I loved him in the studio show. He was fantastic. And then he had a podcast for a while that I listened to, and it just turned me off. Uh-oh. The guy was a knucklehead. Just a knucklehead.
Not as good as us.
But don't even perish the thought. But in the studio show, he was fantastic. He's got a lot of really great stories. Of course, he played with the Broncos for a number of years, and the Reds before that. The Washington football team.
Oh my gosh,
golly,
you buzzed a lot here today.
Anyway, I have high hopes for that group.
Yeah,
but Mark Schlereth bugs me. Okay, moving on. Tom Brenneman, Chris Spielman, Peter Schrager.
Okay, three guys.
Three guys. Chris Spielman, I remember him from the Detroit Lions when he played middle linebacker, and he was huge. Now he is small. Oh, he's about 150 pounds.
Stop juicing.
I guess he did. Because this was back in the...
Now he's doing the different kind of juicing.
Yes.
The cleanse. Yeah.
He was back in the day when everybody wore those hugely oversized, ridiculous shoulder pads. So he looked like a monster. And he was just regular size, I guess, underneath. I always thought of him as a monster, but yeah.
Cool.
They are okay. Chris Spielman's okay. I don't know Tom Brenneman very well.
I don't know these guys. I mean, I've heard of them, but I don't know. I can't comment. No comment.
Okay. Sam Rosen, David Deal, Jennifer Hale. I have no idea who those people are.
Sam Rosen has been announcing for the New York Rangers since 1986, I believe.
Oh, wow.
And he picked up in the NFL with Fox. He's been with Fox for a long time now. I think in 96. So this is his 11th year, maybe. There was a clip I found of Rosen announcing a game between the Steelers and the Washington football team. I did not do it. And he calls out the Washington, and then he says, and the Pittsburgh Penguins take the field.
Oh, no!
He had that hockey brain.
That's what happens.
So I thought that was kind of funny.
That's funny. A lot of these guys, they do multiple sports, and the NFL's got to be great for that, because essentially you show up for a day.
Yeah.
It's not even a day. It's like you show up for 6 hours, and that's it.
Great gig.
Yeah.
I'd take it.
Maybe one day of prep, one day for the game, on a plane, back home.
Yeah. And if you know anything about football, no prep.
No prep. Just
Troy
roll
Aikman
out.
Doesn't do anything.
I'd be surprised if he did nothing, but I don't know that he would have to do. He could probably rest a little bit on his laurels if he wanted to. CBS. So the Fox guys, most of the Fox guys are fine.
I like them.
Yeah, they're fine.
Good job, Fox.
CBS. Starts off with Jim Nantz, and I hate that guy.
Yeah.
He is miserable, and the only thing worse than Jim Nantz was Phil Simms.
Oh, yeah.
That combination of wrongness, together it was a perfect storm of everything I hate about announcing.
Where'd Phil Simms go?
He's in the studio now. He's in the CBS studio show.
Okay, so they're still putting him on people.
They are. They're exposing Phil Simms to the masses.
But you don't have to deal with him while you're actually watching what matters.
No.
That's great.
You go, who watches the CBS morning show anyway?
I don't understand why people watch CBS.
No. Blue Bloods. That's an easy one. Come on now.
That's a whole new podcast.
But Jim Nantz is terrible. But Tony Romo is teaming with him this year.
Interesting.
So I'm conflicted again. I want to watch Tony Romo, but I think Tony Romo, a guy fresh out of the league, probably got some really great stories.
Yeah.
I want to see that.
Yeah.
But the only way for me to see it, I got to go through the Jim Nantz gate.
That's not good.
Why would they?
That's CBS punishing you.
Why do they hate me?
That's what they do. This is what they do with their TV shows. They find people that you think you want to watch, but then they cast them in horribly scripted, written shows. Tracy Wolfson is good, too. I've always been a fan of her.
Really? I don't know who she is. I don't know if I can
She's got a
figure
mole
out.
on her left cheek, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, she's good.
I couldn't figure
she's
out.
She's up there with Erin Andrews.
Okay, fair enough. Next up for CBS, Ian Eagle.
No,
I don't know who that is.
Ian Eagle.
Ian?
Which is why I don't like him.
Okay, right away.
Yeah.
I don't, He's teamed up with Dan Fouts.
Chargers legend.
Now, here's my thing with Dan.
Oregon legend.
I like Dan Fouts.
That's why you like him.
No, I like him. Actually, I like him because many years ago, he was on ABC's show. He was there with Al Michaels. Okay. And remember, Dennis Miller was on that show for like a day and a half before they kicked him out. Those two guys were great together. I enjoyed that a lot. And Dennis Miller has some great stories about doing Monday Night Football. If you ever listen to his podcast or his radio show, he'll talk about them sometimes. But in this configuration, Ian Eagle and Dan Fouts and Evan Washburn on the sidelines, I listened to this team broadcast the Seahawks-Chiefs game.
Just last week's, right?
Yeah. The third week of preseason week 3. And Dan Fouts sounds old.
Uh-oh.
He sounds old. So I like Dan Fouts. I don't want to come down on Dan Fouts, but I don't want to watch him now.
I don't either.
Okay. All right. Their third team, CBS's third team, Greg Gumbel, Trent Green, and Jamie Erdahl. Jamie Erdahl on the sidelines. Greg Gumbel, is this wrong? I've always thought of Greg Gumbel as a fat Brian Gumbel.
Yeah.
I know they're related. They're brothers.
Yeah.
One of them's skinny and the other one's Greg Gumbel. Yeah.
I've never had a problem with Greg Gumbel. I think Trent Green is good. I've always enjoyed hearing him.
Okay.
I've not been annoyed by him.
So this wouldn't drive you away?
No. This is just like the perfect, innocuous, watch the game and you hear the things being said.
So far, the only one that I have that would drive me away is Jim Nantz.
Yeah, but now you have Tony Romo pulling you back in.
And
Tony Romeo.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Okay, next up on fourth on the list, Kevin Harlan, Rich Gannon.
Gannon the Cannon.
And I actually enjoy both those guys.
I'm fine
both
with
those
them.
guys are fun.
Yeah.
Okay, Andrew Catalan and James Lofton. James Lofton is just back now. He hasn't been doing this for a long time. He's come back to the fold.
I don't know these guys.
So I don't have any memories of James Lofton when he was announcing, but it was like 10 years ago.
Wow.
Next on the list, Sparrow Deeds.
Spyro Dedes.
Yeah, I don't.
That's a great name.
But he's teamed up with Adam Archuleta.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't heard them.
I don't know these guys
Okay.
either.
Tom McCarthy, Steve Tasker, and Steve Berline on the sidelines. That's a fun group.
All-star quarterback.
I guess he did make a Pro Bowl once, didn't he?
I don't know.
Steve Berline.
I hope he did.
Steve Tasker is actually really good at color.
Okay.
He's really good. The old Bills special teams player. And then Beth Mowens is there with Jay Feely.
Wow.
And I haven't heard them either, but Beth is the only woman on the list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a lead position.
Yes. Well, as a play-by-play.
Yeah.
As a play-by-play person, she's the only one listed. Quite the sausage fest in the booth, really. Can we say that? I think we can say that. Okay.
I wish we had a drop of something like that for that, but we don't.
Okay, so and that gets us to the national guys. So
Good
ESPN Monday Night Football. Sean McDonough, John Gruden, and Lisa Salters.
Yeah.
And I like that group a lot.
I love John Gruden.
John Gruden doing play-by-play is fantastic.
Yeah,
or
I
color
like him a
commentary
lot.
is fantastic.
I'll listen to him talk.
Yes.
I
Yes.
like him.
And let's face it, if ever there was a broadcast show that needed it, it's Monday Night Football because those games are unwatchable without John Gruden, without somebody else there. It's terrible football. That's just horrible. Monday Night Football used to be the elite matchup.
And they just throw anybody in there.
No, I think they look for the worst teams. The only thing worse than Monday Night Football is Thursday Night Football. That is a mess.
Yeah, they probably got about like 1 in 16 success rate in picking the right matchup for those two broadcasts.
What's even worse for Thursday for me is CBS does the announcing, and of course it's a national game.
Yeah.
And that means you got to see Jim Nantz and Phil Simms.
Oh, yeah.
So let me tell you what's better than the Bills and the Jets. Announced by Phil Simms and Jim Nantz.
Yes.
Really just light me on fire. That's all I need now. Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
At least I think the Thursday night game used to be solely on NFL Network, right?
Yeah.
And they trotted out Mike Mayock.
They did.
Which
I forgot about that.
That drove me nuts. That really drove me nuts because the guy had a lisp, and I can't stand it.
Yeah, he's tough.
And I can't understand why you would employ somebody with a lisp.
In a broadcast capacity.
Yeah.
Maybe as a writer. It seems fine.
Yeah.
On a keyboard.
I was surprised he got a job. I'm glad he's gone.
He's not there anymore.
He's a nice guy, though.
Anyway, NFL, this is really to me, this is the best crew.
I love it.
NBC Sunday night. Mike Tirico, Chris Collinsworth, Heather Cox.
Yeah.
Those guys, that's the cream of the crop.
Well, okay, I admit that Chris Collinsworth is good, but for some reason, I just don't like him. I just pick up a vibe from him when he's talking sometimes that makes me feel like he's a huge jerk. And Mike Tirico seems like the nicest guy in the world. Like, he would invite anybody and everybody in and hang out with them. And Collinsworth feels like he would kick everybody out.
He's a little sketchy.
Reason.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
So, while I agree that he is good at what he does, I don't like it.
Let me be clear. If I had a choice, I would rather see John Gruden in that
that's
spot.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. So if you're going to mix and match, I would take Tirico. I think Al Michaels was my favorite play-by-play guy.
He's great.
And actually, you know what? With due respect, I think Tirico's a great choice to replace Al Michaels. But I take it back. I would do Joe Buck.
Joe Buck's good too.
I would do Joe Buck good. And then John Gruden, and then I would take Aaron Andrews or Pam Oliver as my sideline reporter.
Both of them, one for each sideline.
That seems fine.
There's 2 sidelines.
It's true. Good point.
Yeah.
That's who I would take. Those are the announcers. We've gone down the list.
You're welcome.
Thank you,
America.
Thank
the
you,
world.
Thank you for playing along.
Worldwide.
Available world. I don't know if we're listened to worldwide.
I think we had one blog page hit from like Estonia.
Oh, jeez.
So surely they understood us.
Oh, jeez.
I think they speak English there.
All right, that's the rundown. So we're getting ready to wrap things up. I thought we should go around the league. Quick notes.
Just clear some things up.
Yeah. We'll start with the AFC East.
Yeah.
A couple of notes. Ray Maualuga signed with the Dolphins. The Dolphins were short on linebackers, and Ray was short on a team. So it seems like a good fit.
Yeah.
Reunites Maualuga with his former linebackers coach in Cincinnati, Matt Burke.
The new DC, right?
Yeah, DC in Miami. So it makes a lot of sense. And they need a guy who can come in, who can play first and second down. Obviously, third down, they're going to pull him out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sounds like a good fit. So good for the Dolphins.
Yeah, he just needs to be there and not screw up.
Kind of like
half of the time.
Kind of like Jay Cutler just happening to retire and just happened to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things are coming together in Miami.
I think you gotta feel good about that team.
Yeah.
Tyrod Taylor still in concussion protocol.
Oof.
After getting his head slammed to the turf against the Ravens. The mighty Ravens.
The Ravens like to hurt people in the preseason.
And it seems like they've done a good job. The Ravens also, I think, like to be hurt.
Yeah.
We'll get to them.
How dare you.
Moving on to the AFC North.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco is throwing again, thanks to apparently his back injury is well on its way.
He didn't have a back injury. Being a Ravens fan, the Ravens fan that I am, I, of course, have a source within the organization.
Right.
And I know what happened.
Okay.
So, Flacco does not like Ryan Mallett. Ryan Mallett kept saying that Flacco was not elite.
What?
Yeah, it really got to him.
Why would he do that?
So Flacco faked why would he say that he's not elite?
Yeah.
Because he's a jerk.
He's a Ryan Mallett?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
So Flacco faked the injury. This is my plan. You think I'm not elite? I'll show you. You play all the preseason games.
Uh-huh.
Look at how terrible you are.
He's really bad.
You're going to get fired. But they're not firing him. They're keeping him. I don't know. So it didn't work. But that is why.
It did show, though, that Ryan Mallett is terrible.
Oh, my God.
He is not a good choice to start
I'm so
at quarterback.
glad Flacco is faking the injury.
Well, it's good that he's throwing. It's good that he's in non-contact situations, at least doing that.
Yeah.
That's good.
In more good news.
More good news for the Ravens. Linebacker Albert McClellan, out for the year. One of those knee injuries.
Another one of the knee injuries.
Yeah.
One of the 21.
So that's good.
Yeah. That makes 8, I think.
8 for the Ravens.
This year.
Just this year.
For the season. And they were all players that were going to actually play a part in the game. They weren't like... Albert McClellan is probably the least important of the people that has gone down. I guess Crockett Gilmore, you could argue. And one of their 18 tight ends. But
I think, though, that they're at least there'll be a group in rehab. Yeah. Support system in place.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
They'll all come back strong.
The Steelers picked up tight end Vance McDonald from the 49ers.
I have one more thing that I picked up late on the Ravens real quick.
What you got?
Remember Zach Orr?
Yeah.
Retired, unretired.
Uh-huh.
Retired again.
Okay.
Now, the Ravens hired him today. He's going to join their coaching staff.
Really?
Yeah. Apparently, when he announced his first retirement back in January, Ravens owner Steve Bisciotti approached him and asked him, would you be interested in joining our team on a personnel role? And I guess after workouts with Colts and Jets, and I think maybe the Bills too, nothing worked out. He went back and they pulled him in. And so he's going to be working with the linebackers and joining in on special teams meetings, learn about that stuff a little bit. And then next year, after the season's over, he's going to move into a player evaluation role.
Nice.
Yeah. So
that's great.
Good for them.
I really hope that works out for him. I mean, I think, I think he's, it's a great fit. I feel more comfortable with him doing that than watching him blow out his back and die. I don't know what would happen.
He's got the congenitive neck defect
issue.
Would kill him.
I think his head would just become detached from his body. Isn't that how that works?
Yeah. He made the right move.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm sorry. Back to the
that's
Steelers.
good. That's good note. Steelers picked up tight end Vance McDonald from the 49ers, so now they have, I guess, 13 different tight ends on the roster?
No.
No?
I don't think so.
They just the regular amount then?
I think, They have the outlaw Jesse James, who I've discovered apparently he can catch the ball, but then he doesn't run. He just falls down apparently. He may have even had negative yards after contact. So they went and got Vance McDonald. I think they picked up Vance and then they exchanged a 4th for a 5th with the Niners.
Yeah.
The problem with Vance McDonald is he has hands made of rocks.
Right. Skillets.
Yeah. He had a drop rate of like 15%.
Oh my gosh.
And the average for the tight ends over the last 3 years was only 7.
Yeah.
So he's like twice as bad as everybody else in the league at catching.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's a good move because when he catches it, he picks up yards.
Right.
But he has to make sure he catches it first.
Okay. All right. Steelers running back Le'Veon Bell looks to return the 1st, so Friday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully he does not.
Hopefully he stays out longer. The Browns cut Joe Hayden, former Pro Bowl cornerback Joe Hayden.
Yeah, and the Steelers picked him up today.
They signed him. Yeah. The Browns had been asking Joe Hayden to take a pay cut. Joe did not want to do that. I wouldn't want to do that either.
No.
When my boss comes to me and says, hey JB, would you like to keep playing here or working here for less money? I would say no, thank you. I'm good with the money that I already make from you.
Turns out I'm gonna go leave and play on a team that has a chance to win a Super Bowl.
They do too. Yeah, this could be good for Joe Hayden.
Yeah.
Joe Hayden has, I don't know if he's fallen off a cliff, but he has not been as productive as he was a couple of years back.
Yeah, the Steelers are hoping it was a blip.
Yeah.
Pro Football Focus had Hayden ranked as 98th cover corner last year out of 119.
That's bottom.
That's an F.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. We'll move on to the AFC South. J.J. Watt raising money to help victims of Hurricane Harvey.
A lot of money.
And it really turns out. He started off with a goal of $500,000. He blew through that in just a few hours.
Second.
He upped his goal to $1 million. He hit that. He's now had contributions. Titans owner Amy Adams Strunk donated $1 million.
Jeez.
Robert Kraft is donating $1 million. The Jets ownership group is donating $1 million. Yeah. So there is money being forwarded into relief efforts.
As of this recording, I saw a tweet like an hour ago. J.J. Watt had announced that he was bumping up his new goal to $6 million.
Wow!
So he's at like 5 and change.
Good on him. Yeah. That's good on him.
That's going to fix the city alone.
Well, I don't know if that's true, but hopefully that will help.
Yeah.
I've got in my notes here that they were going to move the Cowboys-Texans game that was supposed to be played in Houston to Dallas, and now apparently that game's just been canceled, it's the right thing to do. Yeah. I mean, nobody should be made to watch or participate in a game when their house is flooding.
Yeah.
That seems strange. Moving on to the AFC West. Raiders get rookie cornerback Garyon Conley back from the physically unable to perform list.
Yeah, he had a shin injury that he suffered back in spring camp. So he's been out for a while.
He was their first round pick this year?
Yeah, like 24th, I believe.
Okay. The Raiders are going to be tough this year. Good grief. They're still my pick.
You like their defense.
I did. I don't understand why people are down on their defense.
I mean, I guess we looked at the stats. We pulled them up. They were in the 20s in yards allowed in the passing and rushing. But, I mean, they've got the pieces there. So maybe, and they've got Del Rio.
I would think
so that would click.
Yeah, they've got Khalil Mack. He's a monster. They've got Bruce Irvin. He's really good pass rusher.
Yeah,
they've got
seems
guys.
Like it should work.
Yeah,
hopefully it does.
We'll see. NFC East, Jordan Reed for the Washington football team is back off the pup. Yeah, hey, he's due to go back on the pup when?
I think week 5 is that's my guess.
That's the over under is week 5.
I don't believe in the orthotics thing. I think if he was just wearing this as like walking around, that I could believe that's going to help your toe feel better.
Right, it's a toe injury.
Yeah, but when you're running around at full speed and you're just getting stomped on too, I imagine, and all over, I hope it works because he's a great player, fantastic player, but it makes me nervous.
As someone who gets gout from time to time and has my toe flare up, I can say that there is nothing dumber in the world than having your big toe feel like it's going to fall off because it screws up everything else. So for a football player to not be able to push off it's just a toe. Yeah. You think to yourself, it's just a toe. Why is it that debilitating? Why can't you play if it's just the toe? Because you can't push off.
It's amazing. I hurt my toe this summer. I was out playing around in a lake camping, and I stubbed my toe on a rock, and I could not walk for that day. I was just confined to my lawn chair, eating s'mores. I guess it wasn't the worst thing, but I definitely wasn't playing football.
Oh, so hopefully Jordan Reed is fine. Hopefully he stays healthy. That'd be great. Ezekiel Elliott, his appeal is underway. 6 games. Stop it. TK is eating soup right in front of me. Can you believe that? Ezekiel Elliott, he suspended for 6 games. That was the ruling from the league. He is appealing that now, and the appeal is going to continue. This is the 30th that we're recording this on.
It's
Wednesday. And his appeal will continue tomorrow.
At least tomorrow, yeah.
Maybe longer.
I read that they have a key witness that wasn't available until the 31st. So it's at least coming in just the whole evidence deliberation appeal process. And then the guy's got to go through and act like he cares before he continues to say 6 games.
Before he says, yeah, no, we're good.
Yeah.
Oh, good grief. All right, NFC North. Big news.
Big
news in the NFC North this week.
Wow.
Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford.
Sorry, that's a lot of money.
He signed for all the money.
Yeah.
Yeah. He signed for $135 million?
$135 million.
$135 million.
Over 5 years.
And you know what? My first thought when I saw the number, I was like, that seems like a lot of money. But remember, JB, that's football money.
Yeah.
It's not guaranteed.
No.
How much of the contract is guaranteed?
Oh my God, $92 million.
$92 million! Guaranteed! That is insane.
That's pretty much all the money.
That's $135 million, $90 million guaranteed. He got a $50 million bonus for signing his name.
Yikes.
$50 million.
You know how much Derek Carr got for signing his name?
How much?
12 and a half.
Oh!
He got hosed.
Of course, one of those guys has done this for a long time.
Yeah, he's a little more proven than the other.
The other guy is Derek Carr. One interesting thing that you pointed out to me is the similarity in facial features between Matt Stafford and
Adult Haley Joel Osment.
We've got a picture here. Did you make this?
Yeah, I just put those together.
That's fantastic.
We'll post it. We'll tweet it.
We'll put it up in the show notes too.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll make it. It's uncanny.
Stafford's fatter, younger brother.
Stafford's fatter, younger, non-football playing
sibling.
It really is incredible how close they are.
Congratulations to Matt Stafford.
Congratulations to Matt Stafford.
And
That's
his wife and child.
Okay.
Children? I think he has 2.
I don't know what his family situation is. What I will say is this. I was looking at a graphic with Matt Stafford signing for this amount of money. The top 5 quarterbacks now in the NFL by pay, average pay. Mm-hmm. I guess not top 5 players. This is the top 5 players in the NFL.
They're all quarterbacks.
They're all quarterbacks. Is Matt Stafford is first, and then you have I'm forgetting now who else on the list. Matt Stafford,
Carr, right?
Derek Carr is second. Thank you. Drew Brees, I think, is 4th. Kirk Cousins is 5th.
Yeah. Who's that guy in the middle?
Oh my gosh, I'm losing out on who. It doesn't matter. The point of it is the 5 guys.
A-Rod, right? Aaron Rodgers, got to be.
No, it's not
Aaron Rodgers.
No, he's actually he's
ripped off.
Or Tom Brady.
Yeah.
It's not anybody that you would look at and say, "Oh yeah, those are great quarterbacks." You look at that list though. There's 5 guys on the list. They cost per year $125 million. $125 million per year. Between them, they have 1 Super Bowl ring.
Woo.
So we've come to an era in the NFL. I like Matt Stafford. I don't know if he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
Derek Carr, I think Derek Carr can win a Super Bowl, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins, I don't think he's ever going to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But you have to pay these guys that much money. That's what the market will bear.
The Lions especially needed to do this because this is the best quarterback they've ever had.
Yeah.
So they had to lock him up. If you let him go, obviously you have nothing.
Yeah. But it's insane.
Yeah.
But the amount of money is just crazy. I guess it's not basketball money. No. I mean, Steph Curry is making $40 million all by himself, right? So, and it's not baseball money. How do baseball teams afford that kind of scratch? I have no idea.
Yeah.
That's okay. Anyway.
Well, a little bit more for the Lions.
Yeah.
They're going with Greg Robinson.
They're gonna go with former LA Ram #1 pick.
Yeah.
Greg Robinson at right tackle?
Left.
At left tackle.
They had Cyrus Kouandjio.
Okay.
I think they picked him up immediately after Taylor Decker's injury. Mm-hmm. But so they had the competition between Greg and Cyrus. And Greg won, and they were like, "Bye, Cyrus."
Wow. So
maybe Taylor's not that far out, like we were originally thinking, like December. But maybe he'll be back sooner because I can't imagine.
The Lions during the game broadcast today that I was watching, they were saying that the Lions are counting on their running game to be able to support. So to be able to support their offense, to be able to support their passing game. So I mean, they need to have. It's important for the offense for both sides of the ball to be working.
I'm gonna have to get on that Game Pass and watch the Lions games and watch Greg Robinson and see if he has been effective. Cause Maybe he has.
Once you get into the regular season, interesting thing about NFL Game Pass, another quick plug. Once you get into the regular season, you can break down the coaches' film.
Oh, that's cool.
And you can actually go watch it on your computer and go into the web browser.
Yeah.
And you can actually search for a player and then watch just that player's plays.
I like that.
Which should be really convenient.
Cool.
NFC South. Bucks are looking good on Hard Knocks. They look like they're having fun. It looks like a great team, like they have some momentum. But I remember I felt this way about all Hard Knocks teams.
Did you think the Rams were going to be amazing?
I did. I thought the Rams were going to be like, you know what? Maybe the Rams are going to be good.
Yeah.
And then
Falcons.
Fisher got fired.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Falcons. Didn't Mike Smith get fired?
I think so. They were on Hard Knocks, I think, the year before. So.
Okay.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
didn't get their Super Bowl run leading up to their Hard Knocks.
But the Bucks look good.
Yeah.
And Jameis Winston looks good in games.
I agree.
And their defense doesn't look as horrible as I thought they would.
Yeah.
I mean, it's preseason, so who knows? But they're looking pretty good. The Saints picked up long snapper John Dornbose from the Jets for a 7th-round pick. Dornbose is a 14-year vet. He's missed only 3 games over the last 10 years.
Long snappers stay healthy.
Yeah, and it's also a crucial position. The Saints have had trouble with it, so I would also trade a 7th-round pick for a qualified long snapper. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Well, speaking of long snappers, I don't know if you've heard this because it's kind of a deep cut, but the Jaguars, they have a long snapper too. Well, they had a long snapper, but he's not going to play this year. And I think you know why. I mean, we know why everybody's not playing this year, right?
It was a knee injury.
Torn ACL.
Right.
From your long snapper. So, his name is Carson Tinker, which is a great name.
That's a fantastic name.
I came across him on rotoworld.com, and this is what they wrote.
On RotoWorld.
On Carson Tinker's blob.
His news feature.
When the news came out that he was
on
injured
RotoWorld
and going to miss the season.
This is a quote from RotoWorld.
Tinker has been snapping snaps that are longer than normal snaps in Jacksonville since 2013. The Jags must now find someone else to snap the ball a longer distance than it is usually snapped. This is why I love RotoWorld. That was amazing.
That's so bad.
Because it turns out Carson Tinker is listed as a linebacker. So apparently he subs in every once in a while as linebacker, but he also goes in to snap the ball when it needs to be snapped a distance that is longer than a normal snap.
Yes. Snap longer than a normal snap. You bring in a linebacker.
So look how I'm keeping an eye on the Jags' long snap situation. I haven't seen anything about if they're going to just use somebody else within the system. Mm-hmm. Watch out for their punting game.
Yeah.
Their field goal game could suffer a little bit.
It's a tough one, especially on punts, because it doesn't take much. It doesn't take much to screw up a punt, and then you're hosed. That's a transition that has to work.
And you got to figure they're going to be punting a lot.
Well, with Blake Bortles at the helm, I would assume so. Yeah, it seems like a safe bet. Okay, all right. Devontae Freeman returns to practice after being sidelined with a concussion the last 2 weeks. Welcome back, Freeman.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, 2 weeks. Out 2 weeks with a conky.
I told it. I said it. I think it happened right after I said it. I worried about Freeman because of the big contract the karma is going to get to him, and it's just going to screw him over.
Yeah.
And I don't think he deserves it. I'm just saying I think this could happen.
Yeah, that's how it works.
A thing that might happen.
You sign a big contract, and then you get hosed.
So, be careful.
NFC West. When will Aaron Donald return to the Rams?
Oh, my God.
I was reading today. He's still out, and there's no contract
progress.
Talks aren't going nowhere. And there's starting to be people speculating now, well, what's the last date he can show up before he'll and still be allowed to play in the first week of the season?
Allowed by who?
I guess the concern is that he won't know enough.
Oh, please.
To go in and do the job. No, listen to this. It's important.
Okay.
There is a new defensive system in place.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Wade Phillips is there now.
Yeah.
Apparently, to play in Wade Phillips' system, you have to speak Chinese.
Uh-oh.
That's the only thing I can figure that would keep Aaron Donald out for any appreciable length of time.
I still think he could figure it out.
It's the most asinine thing in the world. You've got to be kidding me. You're going to hold him out? Dude,
No.
remember they held Joey Bosa didn't sign his contract last year, right? His
there was
rookie
some
contract.
He wanted more money.
He wanted more money.
Yeah.
And then, oh no, he signed late. Oh no, whatever shall he do?
Just win Rookie of the Year.
That's all.
Yeah.
Turns out he was fine. You know why? Because he's a defensive lineman. How tough is this?
Just
hey,
push a guy's arms away and move past him.
hey, you 3 technique. Here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna switch gaps with that guy, and then you're gonna rush up and tackle the quarterback.
Yeah.
If he doesn't have the ball, find the guy with the ball. Tackle him.
They need to get him back.
They have to have him back to be able to
I
be
don't know.
effective.
He must be asking for a ton of money if they're not just getting it over with.
I haven't heard, but it surprises me because really whatever he's asking for, he's probably worth that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Unless it's really...
You just look at what Khalil Mack is earning probably, and then...
That's a little bit different. I mean, the thing about Donald is he's an interior lineman.
Yeah.
Maybe the concern is that in Wade Phillips' scheme, they want a bigger guy.
Yeah.
That could be it, because they want more of a Vince Wilfork type. They want that 3-4 nose. And Aaron Donald is, he's more of a 3-tech. He's more of a 4-3 kind of tackle. He's not a 2-gap guy. He's a 1-gap guy. But put him in. I don't understand teams that go out and hire coaches and coaches that can't break their scheme if they've got personnel that would do better playing another way. That just doesn't make sense to me. You have to play the way I put it. Why would you do that?
With somebody like this.
Well,
especially.
Who's the best coach in the NFL right now? Is Bill Belichick.
Probably.
Bill Belichick has played 5 different defensive systems in New England and won 5 different Super Bowls doing it.
Bill Belichick doesn't care.
No!
Bill Belichick's just going to beat you.
But apparently...
Stealing your practice film.
Apparently, if Aaron Donald is not back by
balls.
Friday, he's not going to be able to play. Yes. Anyway, Rams. This is why you can't have nice things.
They just got Sammy Watkins. They got some nice things. They got a nice thing.
They have one nice thing. Sammy Watkins is there. Okay, one nice thing. That's all we got for this week.
That's a lot of stuff.
That was a lot of stuff.
I hope you enjoyed it.
I hope you enjoyed it too.
I was talking to you.
Me, I enjoyed it. Being in the pod shed was fantastic. I'm really looking forward to going back and taking a quick listen before we post this thing and see if it sounds. It sounds good in my ears. Right now, I'm monitoring the audio, and it sounds good.
I love it.
But of course, I've monitored the audio before, and then get home, and it got weird.
Pops and clicks everywhere, hums. And
Not this week. Not this week. Anyway, we have Prince. Prince is gonna sing us out. We'll see you next week.
Goodbye, everybody.